Have you ever asked yourself this question? When is the right time for me to retire? If you're considering retirement, you've probably been working at your job or in your career for the past 30 or 40 years. So the question as to when to stop working is a big one. It's a major life decision. My name is Louis. I'm 61 and a half years old, and I'm planning to retire at age 65. But there are three factors in my life that could change that date or that could change that age to a younger age or even to an older age. In this video, I'll talk about those three factors and how they could affect the age that I retire. Feel free to leave any comments down below. I love to read the comments, and so does everybody else that watches these videos. So feel free to leave a comment down below. When I was in my 40s and 50s, I thought I'd work until the age of 70. And the major reason for that is because I didn't start saving for retirement until late in life. So I was really looking to maximize my Social Security. I knew I had to stay at work until a later age if I were going to be financially comfortable after retirement. That was the first reason that I thought that I would work until age 70. And the second reason is because my parents worked until their mid 70s. So it just seemed like the norm for me to continue to work that late in life. As I got older, my job seems and started to get harder. So when I reached the age of 60, I started to realize that I didn't have the energy that I had when I was younger, and that I didn't have the patience that I had when I was younger, and that it was becoming more difficult for me to stay in my job in the workforce. It, it was more difficult than I expected it would be. So at the age of 60 or 61, I decided to back that retirement age down to age 67. And then more recently, I backed it down to age 65. But there are a few things that I have to consider that could change that age again. It could change my retirement age again to a younger age or even to an older age. And these are the three factors that I've been considering as I'm looking towards that retirement age. I'm going to name them in order of importance to me, which may surprise you. Number one factor in this decision for me is my physical health. So I believe that I will live to an old age, but I can't be sure of that. So if I only have, if I'm only going to live until 75 or 80, then I will want to retire sooner. And but and my father died of heart disease, so it's very possible that I will live to around that age because that's the age that my father lived to. But my mother is living to a much older age. So it's also possible that I will live into my late 80s or into my 90s. There are many members of my family that have lived that long. So the number one factor is my physical health. And how am I going about checking on my physical health to see or to try to project the age that I will live to? Well, first of all, over this past year, I had a CT scan, which is shows a calcium score based on calcium buildup in my arteries, and that score was very low. So it is a good indicator that I will uh, possibly not die of heart disease like other members of my family. So that's good news. Um, I had an echocardiogram this year and also good results with that. Um, I have an upcoming DEXA scan that shows my my bone density and my body composition. So we'll take a look at that, which could also be some a way of projecting the my future health. And the last thing that I do for my physical health that will be a determining factor is, will I be able to exercise and train my body and keep my body healthy that way if I continue to work at my job until the age of 65 or even later. And that my physical training and my exercise routine have become more difficult to maintain with my age and in this job, because my normal workday is about 11 hours a day and 5 days a week. So for me to maintain that intense work day and work week, I get tired more easily at this age. So it's more difficult for me to continue to train my body and to continue to stay at a high level of fitness. Anyway, that is number one factor that I'm considering as I approach my retirement. Physical health, most important on my list. Number two, mental health and stress. So my job comes along with a lot of mental stress, and like most of ours do, we uh, we are we're stressed about changes at our job. We're stressed about our workloads. We're stressed about other things. So number two is, can I stay mentally healthy if I continue to work until the age of 65? And so far, I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job with that. Um, I'm not in an angry mood every day. I'm not. I don't seem to be depressed. I seem to be able to handle and recover that work stress from day to day. There are multiple things that I do to make sure that that's the case, to keep myself mentally healthy. But so far, at the age of 61, I am able to maintain a good level of mental health. So that's not going to so as of now, that is not going to change my retirement. So number one, my physical health. Number two, my mental health. And number three is my finances. So a lot of people, when they think about retirement, they think about, how much money do I need to retire? And I'm one of those people, obviously. But it's not on the top of my list, because I know many people who retire in a less than ideal financial situation, and they still make it happen. They still make it work. So I think that of course, I want to grow my 401k as much as possible. Of course, I want to pay off my house, which will happen. Pay off my mortgage, which will happen if I work until the age of 65. Of course, I don't want to have any other bills um, when I reach my retirement. But if that was not the case, I don't think it would be the end of the world. I don't think that it would be that it would cause me any more difficulty than it causes most people if they retire a little bit short on money. So retiring with the exact financial portfolio that I hope to is secondary to retiring with good physical health and retiring with good mental health. Another possibility for me is to retire from the career that I've been in for a long time, which is operating heavy equipment and managing other operators. Maybe I find myself in a year or two, if the mental and physical aspects of my life are starting to deteriorate, maybe I find myself taking a different job. And I keep thinking to myself, maybe a less stressful job for me would be to drive a bus in town. Like, I see these buses come through my town. They come through regularly, and they pick up people in my community and move them to the other, drive them to the other community. And I think, I have a license to drive tractor trailer, so I could obviously drive a bus as well. And I think to myself, well, maybe that would be a less stressful job for me. So there is a possibility that I would retire from my career, but not retire completely from work, if that makes sense. So um, I hope you found some value in this video. If you did, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And as always, leave a comment down below. I love to read your comments, and I try to respond to everyone. I hope you have a great day. Peace.